Hello, hello. Today we have a very interesting palette today. I've got this palette off Etsy. This is the Witchcraft eyeshadow palette by Spellbound Beauty. I saw this palette and I'll link that video down below. I believe it was on a video by Annette's Makeup Corner, and she was talking about like palettes she hadn't got into or something, and this is one of the palettes that I believe she got in PR. And she gave a pretty decent review about it, and I thought I would try it because the color story looked interesting to me, and I've kind of been playing around with duochromes, multichromes, just like the super sparkliest colors you could think of. I forgot where I was, but this is what the outside of the palette looks like. You can see that the name there is inverted. This packaging's not my favorite. I don't want to say it looks awful. It's definitely very homemade, so I can give kudos to the fact that it does look like that she did make this herself pretty much. I think the only main issue is the only real, what's the word, advice I would love to see. So it says Spellbound Beauty right here, and it's in black. I wish this could have been given a pop of color because I feel like this is as important as the name. The name has been inverted. If you can tell that, it's just, there's no color, it's just Witchcraft, and the colors behind it have been inverted. This is all in black. I wish this might be, I don't know, maybe something like white or something, or like a teal or a purple to match the background, just so you can make the name pop. That's my only suggestion. I mean, overall, I do like that it is a sleeve. It's just a very simple sleeve. The sleeve matches this as well, and it's overall just pretty simple. I mean, it's called Witchcraft. You got a cauldron with like spell books and potions, so I mean, it's on theme. And I'm just saying all this because this was my initial kind of impression of this palette. I was like, oh, it's from Etsy, it's giving very homemade. I paid $25 for this palette and $4.31 for shipping, so in total this palette cost $29.31. I ordered this back in December, and I've been holding it on to ever since. I thought I would bring it out to play with it. If you saw my short, I opened this palette up, and I've been doing my makeup for the past 15 years. I've been working on this hobby channel for the past like 2. I've never opened up a palette and seen a fingerprint in one of my shades. I've never experienced that, so you can definitely tell that the shades in here were most likely put in by hand. It's not a machine, so I was a little weary. I was like, oh, it's not the flashiest cover. There's a fingerprint in my palette. It's $30 for a brand I don't think anyone's ever really heard of. I was like, I don't know. Kind of apprehensive about it. I was like, these might not be the best colors. I'm probably going to have to end up passing this along. I'm glad to report this palette is freaking amazing. Let's open it up. So we can see here there is a mirror. That is a mirror in there. It's got a nice big size mirror, so if you're, if you're interested in having a mirror in here, it does have a mirror. I think if this creator wanted to maybe keep costs low, they could get rid of the mirror in this. But otherwise, this is the color story that really just kind of got me. And I was like, that looks interesting. So we have these blues, you got some of these greens over here, you have purple, you got some pinks going on, and I think the thing that I really love the most is that you have these kind of different shades of brown, and we got some green mattes as well, and then this whole center, this whole 9-pan row right here, are all just beautiful duochrome, just glory and wonder. Let me go back onto the website on Etsy, and I will also try to link this palette from Etsy down below. I just want to, let's see, which I did get a coupon for 15% off, by the way. The coupon is thank you. But let's see, I want to see what she says about her own palette. I'm sorry, I'm assuming those are their pronouns. I guess they. Let's see. It's got, I think there's a poem. It says, completely vegan, cruelty-free, start to finish, 15 highly pigmented eyeshadows, mattes, and duochromes. I think in person I was like, okay, that doesn't look too bad. You can clearly see, which you'll usually see every time I do a review. I definitely try to use every color. For this palette, I did use every color. Hopefully, the light can capture some of the shift that you might see in this palette. But overall, I went back to that video recently from that beauty guru creator, and I rewatched her talk about this palette again. And there are some, if not all, things that I agree with what she said. For $30, so overall I did pay $30, this palette does cost $25. This is an amazing palette for the price. There are other indie brands that sell shades like this for over $100. You get 9 shades for $25. That is an amazing deal. That is absolutely crazy. I love that they have these shades here on the side that you can use as your base or to deepen your outer corner, because that's the way I like to wear it. That's the way I love to wear it. I like to take these shades, put them in my inner corner, the middle of my eye, and then I like to deepen everything with some darker shades. And I like how they also have these two kind of in-between shades. We got a purple and a green, which, by the way, these 3 are completely mattes. This is also a matte. You can see here, this is a matte with sparkle in it. The sparkle doesn't really do much on the eye, but it does have sparkle in it nonetheless, as you can see here. And this one up here is actually a satin, so it is just a very subtle kind of creamy shade. Let's start with the swatching. There is some advice that Annette gave, was that maybe some of the shades were a little too oily, and if that was an issue, to just take something as simple as like some toilet paper and press down on the shade, and that would get some of the oil out. I did do some of that with some of these shades after the fact, just because she did talk about when there's too much oil in the formula, it can start seeping into your palette, and that's when you'll start to see like the stains, like the oil stains on the pan that I had questioned about for the Fantasy Cosmetica palettes, I believe it was. So to do that, and it would help kind of dry out the shade a little bit so it wouldn't be as oily. But overall, I did that for a couple of the shades, but I did it after having applied it onto my eye without having pressed onto it. But I think it still applied well. I just didn't want the oil seepage to mess up my paper palette. Overall, there's so many things I want to say. There's so many things I want to say. You can also check out a short where I did a green look from this palette. I think it looked so good. I absolutely I live for all the shades in this palette. This did so much better than I thought it was going to do. I just wanted to take a look into my mirror and take a quick peek at my makeup, because I was surprised to how beautifully long these wear. Especially, they will crease eventually because they are on like that smoother kind of oily side. Let's do some swatches while I talk. But overall, I think this palette, this is the satin. I want to show you guys the satin because it's completely different to the mattes, which, by the way, the mattes in here are absolutely wonderful. There was like almost no kick up in the pan. There was literally almost no fallout on my face. It was amazing. But in terms of the longevity, I think it worked amazing. Especially at night, you see, let's see, I'm trying to describe, I think it might have been the first or second look that I did. After 8 hours, it still looked like I had just applied it. I was super in shock. Also, purples are usually hard to make, and this purple, I think, is freaking gorgeous. Look how vibrant it is. Are you kidding me? Yes. They were super easy to blend. So easy to blend, long lasting. There was maybe a look or two where it did start to crease, but all I had to do was take my finger and kind of pat back on my eye, and it looked like I had just done my makeup again. These shades I feel would look amazing at nighttime. These are your Coachella shades, y'all. These are your shades for Coachella. In dimmer light, these look amazing. It looks like your makeup look is absolutely perfect. You can't even see the creasing in a dimmer light, which I know is kind of like, well, duh. But I'm just saying the way these reflect off the light in a kind of darker atmosphere, like you would like in a club, in a festival, you know, at a party, like that is, it's so pretty. It's so hard to put into words how beautiful these shades are. I would say that I pretty much more or less had no issues with any of these shades. I think, if anything, maybe this full moon one wasn't as, nothing with the formula. I think it's just preference of color. Because it's still really pretty. This one feels a little too light for me, but still really gorgeous. I mean, I think it's just preference of color. This one is not as pizzazzy as the other ones as I would like. This ghost one is absolutely gorgeous, but very, very soft, very, very wet. So be careful applying, be careful when you go into your brush. I was able to apply all of these with a brush, by the way. I did not have to dip in with my finger, which, you know, that is a plus for me. I love. And this is one of the shades that I love, where it looks white in the pan, but it's giving purple pink shimmer. I think it's gorgina. Look at that. But I think overall, I'm so I'm so basic, but I've mentioned before. I've mentioned before in a lot of my videos, I love a shade like Sisters and Oleander, where there's like this purple, red, pinky base, and there's like a shimmer of another shade, if that makes sense. So this one, you can see, has like a red base. And even though it's flaky, I don't mind the flakiness, because the flakes you can still blend out. They don't stay flakes. So there's that shade. Gorge. Let's go with this shade. Again, this one's got more of a brown, kind of dark purple base, and then it shimmers blue. That is beautiful. I don't want to, you know, sit here and swatch all the shades, so if you want to see swatches of all the shades, I think you can go over to Annette's video, and I believe she did swatch all of them. But these are so gorgeous. I've turned on another little light over here, so hopefully you can catch that glimmer more. But these are so beautiful. They're very beautiful toppers. I love to put a brown base under that. And here's this purple. Look at that. It's giving princess. They're so... I'm really trying to capture how beautifully bright these all are. These are so amazing. They are so amazing for the price. I think they have really great wear time. I love the mattes in here. The mattes in here could have been garbage. They could have been absolute, to be straight up, they could have been shit. But they're amazing mattes, I think. For the price and the rest of what you got in here, they could have cheaped out on the mattes. I don't feel like they cheaped out on the mattes. I was excited to wear this palette every day. I have a little look on my eyes right now. I think it's just so gorgeous, and this is so unique. It's small business. I was surprised that such a wonderful palette could come from an Etsy shop. She does have other palettes in her Etsy shop. I don't think they're duochromes like this, but they are other kind of like witchy looking palettes if you wanted to check those out. But this is an absolutely wonderful palette. This is, I believe Annette says, a really great starter palette to figure out if you like these type of really shimmery, multi-chrome, duochrome shades, super, not glittery, just super sparkly. They're just great toppers with a base underneath, which I did my usual makeup look for all of these shades, and you know, applied my my concealer, and then I applied my matte shade, and then I did my duochrome on top, and they came out absolutely beautiful. I really, really love it. I really recommend it. If this is something that's calling to you while you're looking at it, yes, yes. This is a good all-year palette. I know the theme is witch, so you're thinking like, oh, this should be fall, right? This should be a fall palette. I don't know. I think this would be an amazing spring palette. Because I know we got the greens, the blues, the purples, the pinks, the browns, but the shades? I mean, come on. Like, what other, let's do Forbidden. They're just so beautifully, like, come on. Look at that. That's amazing. These would be amazing for the spring. Because it's just, they're not as dull, whereas, you know, matte, as kind of muted that you might expect for the fall. I think these are amazing for spring. Look how sparkly and girly and pretty these are. This is an all-year palette. This is an all-around. You could wear this for winter. You could wear this for fall. You could wear this for summer. You could. This is an all-year palette. I feel like you have enough color in here and enough depth. I think you could wear this at any point, at any time. I just want to give, you know, I'm always going to be honest, give my review. And I was wrong. My first impressions of this was completely wrong. This is a great, amazing palette. This is so amazing. At this point, I don't care what the packaging looks like. It could have just been one of those ones where the top came off, and I'm like, that's amazing how good this works. It is so good. It is so beautiful. I absolutely recommend this palette. Thank you so much for watching my video and watching the review of this. Go check out Annette's video down below. I'll also have the Etsy link down below if you're interested in this shop. But this is a really good palette for the price. Y'all have a great day.